Welcome again to my educational channel. The main subject is my book Sound in Form, which is a method with which to understand words or words with a capital. This is my book. It's out on Trafford. Check it out. But I will give an extra introduction of the third part in my book. The third part is dedicated to Japanese and Chinese writing system or scripts, and it's called, my third chapter is called The Sense or the Sentence of the Word. Oops. In this study I already have this small introduction in the second book about the Futomani system. It's you can see this very old script, and it's based upon the balance between the elements. It's based upon a balance in the seasons. It leads actually to a lot of two-letter words, two-sound letters, letters with which have a meaning, the two-letter combinations which have all a meaning, and it thanks to this whole system, which shows also the balance between the elements, is also an oracle method that you can describe all situations that occur during the changes of the seasons. And very different from the Western vision of how sounds are used in letters. The Japanese and the Chinese systems use always two sounds together. And it's also a different way of thinking. And it's a very fundamental change of thinking. I explain the whole thing based upon the meaning of vowels and consonants and how it adapts to the structure that it is given in the Eastern philosophies, because in the Western world the letters are very direct, and we work very direct with the directions and where it goes to. We are thinking in that way. Here there's something else going on. Because of this balance, there's always a balance. The yin and yang, if you know, of course, that is in every Eastern system. I mean, the Chinese, the Japanese, and the Korean systems all have this yin and yang balance all the time. Not only that, it's completely based upon finding a balance and remaining that balance and keeping that balance, which I think is fantastic. It's wonderful. There's a whole Confucian idea how you can maintain this. So every letter combination of two-letter combination directs you to maintain this system. While the Western system is based upon, it's a bit more chaotic, let's say, so you can change things the better or the worse. Here in this system, it always seeks balance. There are a few letters left out. I will explain that in my book as well. And some letters, and all the letters direct to confirm the theory, confirm the ideal, confirm it, and make it so. You can see on the top is the table. So on the top is the paper with the theory, and it lies on the table. It's the two-fold system. You make the theory and make it a word. Other than in some other systems, like for instance some religious systems as well, like we have the Christian religion, it misses one sort of very important balance-seeking foundation, which is here in the Chinese and Japanese system, and that makes it also rather superior because it deals with the reality that you have to change and how you face yourself with reality, so you're not just losing yourself in theory, but you have to make it practical, go into it, confront yourself how practical it is, and then see what is left after this confrontation. This whole circle, which is you can see here, this is the balance of not only yin and yang. I also compare it with, of course, the martial arts as well, where you find your balance by uh, giving yourself over to the gravity of things. It is very important that you do so that you complete the circle and be honest with yourself. What has gravity in your whatever you say or whatever you do, and what has not. The new scripts are more based upon an abstract version of the old scripts, and they are, you can see, you have these squares. This is like the field of procreation where everything will be formed, and in fact these 4 squares are also the 4 regions of the 4 seasons. So you develop something, you confront it so that you bring it into reality. You see what it brings in reality, learns from it, and see what survives and what not. This is a very balanced system. That doesn't mean I understand Chinese perfectly, or Japanese, or can read all these scripts perfectly, not at all. But I know, of course, the meaning of sounds, so I can compare it very well, and this way I also understand it very well, how it is developed as a system. And I think even the Japanese and Chinese people who are very much into their own language and script will find a way to understand it from the viewpoint of the meaning of sounds and consonants. Just one small part of the book. So let's say here I have the letter A here in the Japanese script, which actually is like in the meaning of sounds. You start from the focus on the reality, how the reality develops. So first part, the plus is the focus on the reality, and the other alpha that you can see here is the direction where the reality goes. So it's completely the same. What you see here is completely the same meaning of the sound A. It's completely the same. Same with Y. Y is the idealistic idea, the impulse that you get. So the second part is the impulse. So you see what you get with your theory and get it down and make it practical. If it works, it is the same as the idealistic idea with which you started with, the whole system started with, and then you can find a confirmation and a practical new thing thanks to this second letter. The third one is the third letter, the U, is everything which is not finished yet and which is in development. So that is, of course, something that still needs development, as you can see in how it goes. So everything that is put into reality, so the real picture, will give itself to the becoming of itself, onto the working structure, in progress. And the objective is, of course, becoming and see what it really is. And only a very small part of the schemes that are in the book. I will give here a few hiragana script letters. These letters are combinations of two letter types, two letter phonemes, and I can analyze them with very specific meanings. So that means everything with an A is always a new foundation where you can start from. Everything with an I has the will aspect or the desire to become. Everything with a U is the actual thing that is in development and which is not which still needs something to be finalized. The E is the change itself, and the O is the process itself. Every letter, a two-letter word, has these regions. So how, and the T we know already in some from the other visions and some other examples and the other instruction videos. We know the T is a placement. So we find out where we can know where we are, and we make a distinction. Of course, ta is then a placing, so we place something. It's the same in every language. T is in this case it's expressed as she, I think. I don't know. I can't speak Japanese. I only know the meaning of sound. Sorry for that. Of course, this idealism will find a place, and with the U it will seek a place. With the E it will form a placement, and the toe is finding the place. It's the place itself. I'm sure, no matter how little I know of Japanese, that this will more or less fit. A lot of things, I didn't go too much and too deep into these ways how to understand the Chinese script, because I have different ways to analyze it, and the Japanese script. The only thing I did is compare it to the meaning of sounds, and yeah, you can go from there. So I hope some Japanese people or Chinese people will help me and find correct placement into the grammar, because also there, like in Japanese, like with the word toe, it is a certain placement, and it's always directing in the same way, almost like mathematics, and that makes it a for me, a very interesting way of thinking, to think in the Japanese way. Only a bit ashamed that because of combinations with two-letter words, the words become very long, and if you start to pronounce them, it goes too quick for me, so I can't follow. My mind is too slow to understand Japanese quickly enough, unfortunately. But I would like to learn more and better. But I'm sure this whole theory will fit perfectly with what Japanese has to offer, how you can see this language, in which direction it goes, and it gives a different perspective, because now you can understand the parts of the words as a combination of meanings of sounds. So I hope it will help people. I will also hope to find some friends there who can develop this further with me. I'm very respectful to this language itself and to these scripts. So I'm even in full admiration to how it is built up. Thanks for watching. You can find my book on Trafford if you're interested, and I would love to hear from you if you read these passages, especially the passages of Eastern languages. There are a lot of scripts in there, Indian, from other areas in the very far away in the sea. You will see a lot of scripts are explained there, and they also show how much they are connected to the environment and to the way of thinking that is vivid in these countries. In that way, Confucian thinking and Japanese and Chinese thinking, they are one. Thanks for watching.